Hi Virgo, welcome to your February 2024 Astro Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Virgo, it's for you. Now, remember, these are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. And if you're only going to watch one of these, make sure it's for your rising or your ascendant sign, as it's also known. Remember, I'm using whole sign tropical Western astrology for these calculations, and also if you know, as I say, use your own discernment. Now, with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards, as always, with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to pop these to the side. So I want to start with, on the 21st of January, yes, this is for February, but I'm premising this, we're going to go back. On the 21st of January, Pluto moved back into the sign of Aquarius. This is a big deal. You had a little taster of this last year from March 7th for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then it came back into Capricorn. It's been hanging around at the final degrees of Capricorn for what feels like bloody ever. Now, it's coming back into the sign of Aquarius, and in February, it's going to be there, right? Now, you've got this right the way through to September. Pluto will dip back into the sign of Capricorn for a very short stay. November 20th, it comes back into the sign of Aquarius, 20 years, right? So pay attention to this next few months, because it's really going to give you a good understanding or good grounding. Now, Pluto is the energy of power, secrets, control dynamics, power struggles. It also represents hidden things coming to the surface. And although it does represent the energy of transformation, one of the things that I love about Pluto energy is wherever Pluto goes, it reveals, yes, you know, it dredges up all the shit, we have to be honest, right? But it also reveals the true potential of whatever sign it shows up in, right? So in a lot of ways, this can be really great, but it can be really intense at the same time. Now for you, Aquarius occupies the 6th house. Aquarius occupies the 6th house. 6th house is a house that you already have an affinity with, because yours is the 6th sign of the zodiac, so this is a natural space for you. And it also means that whatever is happening in this, you see how Aquarius is lit up yellow, Gemini is lit up as yellow. It means that this Plutonian energy is sending harmonious energy to your career. We're going to talk about that shortly, but your 6th house of your physical health and vitality, your body, your day-to-day maintenance, pets if you have them. The 6th house is your grind, your drudgery, the things that you are slave to, the things that you have to sacrifice for in order to keep or to maintain is your 6th house. It's also the vehicle of your body, the machinery that is your body, and the cellular machinery that makes up your body. So this is a powerful month of where you're having a lot of 6th house energy going on, right? Why? Because the personal planets, certainly Mercury, Mars and Venus, are all going to come into a conjunction with Pluto in this 6th house. This is a big deal, right? So that's to give you a backdrop. Now at 0 degrees on the 5th of February, Mercury, your ruling planet, Mercury rules you, your body, your physical outlook, your mind, your personality, but it also rules your 10th house, which is occupied by Gemini, your sibling sign. Now, your 10th house is your career. If the 6th house is your work, your grind, the stuff that you have to do to maintain that career, sending positive energy flow into that career space, because it's at a trine, right? And it's also at a trine to your money house. This means that this could be actually very nice for you, certainly on a material or a professional level. That being said, it is Pluto, right? So you do need to show up. You'll have to deliver the goods. This is an energy in the 6th house that you understand better than most, right? So if Pluto is all of the stuff that is deep and hidden, it's secrets, it's power control dynamics, etc. Because it's Mercury, and Mercury is you might find that you have more power when it comes to your work, or you feel more powerful, you feel a bit more intense, you feel like you have more of a say, and you feel like you're ready to really get your point across. Another way this could also show up is power struggles in the workplace when it comes to your career, your social status. Now, the other thing about this as well, because Pluto being power, control, big money, or even powerful people, it's the modern ruler as well. So Pluto is also the modern ruler of your third house, right? Because it's the modern ruler of Scorpio. Scorpio occupies your third house. So this could be that communications take on a much more powerful weight, certainly when it comes to your work, when it comes to your day-to-day grind. This could also be that you start doing some kind of really deep research on your physical health and vitality. Maybe you start looking into alternative healthcare and it takes you down a rabbit hole that is really deep, and you start to get really focused on how you can look after and support yourself. This is massive stuff, and through the conversations that you have, you might actually discover that your work or your profession has more to offer you. Now, this might have a lot to do with your work, might have a lot to do with your profession, but it's also highlighting to you what your daily experience needs. It needs to be shifted, where it needs to be optimized, and maybe this is on a physical health and vitality level. Maybe you start to realize how your job really is having an effect on your physical being. Now, your cards for this, you've got the Eight of Wands, so there's a lot of communication going on at this time. Makes sense because Mercury's involved. The ruler of your third house is involved, right? Third house is mercurial, just like you. Communications, conversations, etc. You got this with the Wheel of Fortune. This is an invite. For a lot of you, this could be an invite through work. It could be around your work. Maybe you get a call or a tap on the shoulder to say, look, would you be happy to give a speech or to come and talk at an event? You could be offering your expertise in some way, which I actually think is wonderful. Virgos make incredible teachers because they're so kind and they're so patient. So love this for you. Right now, another way that this could also show up, because the Wheel of Fortune always has us in the right place at the right time. You've got this with the Hermit card. You are the Hermit. The Hermit is Virgo energy. So I love this. You are certainly on your travels in some regard, but it looks like whatever you're traveling for or you're doing, you're not talking about it. You probably won't talk about it or mention it until it's done. All right, which is kind of a typical Virgo thing, I reckon. Now, on the 13th of the month at 0 degrees again, Mars, the planet of action, energy, passion, excitation, war, challenge, conflict. It's also the energy of hot, fast, dynamic energy. Mars conjunct Pluto can be quite explosive. It can be very powerful. Mars is already a very passionate energy, and Pluto is about power. And if power, like Pluto is power in the big, large, general sense, right? Whereas Mars is your personal power. And all of this in your 6th house, I also have to mention, just in case you don't know, Mars exalts in the 6th house. Mars does good work in the 6th house. It likes to be in that house, because what happens with a soldier when you give them rules, regulations, routines, and a direct path, and you give them their training, they go through it, right? The soldiers know how to act when we give them something to do. Mars, being the soldier in the 6th house, can do really good work here for you. Now, it is, like I said, this is quite an intense energy, because Mars for you rules your 8th house of crisis, challenge, trauma, your psychology, it also represents your power and ability to interact with the taboos of life: sex, death, taxes, mortgages, loans, big money, other people's money. Mars for you, because Mars in ancient astrology also ruled Scorpio, right? Scorpio was Mars's feminine or nighttime energy, right? Each planet had a duality to it. Mars in the masculine sign, the masculine air sign, fixed air sign, this is a Mars that will not back down, right? And especially where it comes to the underdog or seeing something that it can't or won't put up with. Now, because this is in your 6th house, this could be a challenge or a conflict of some sort that arises in work. And I have to say, if you find yourself around this time, let's say 2 days before and 2 days after, so between the 11th and the 15th of the month of February, if you find yourself more irritated, or you feel like your buttons are being more pushed by the stuff that you see in the workhouse, really the message here is, it's not so much, yes, I think a part of you is upset for the underdog or the person that you feel is being mistreated, but this is actually triggering something in you that is unhealed, something in you that is like at the depths of your psyche that demands to be expressed. And so it's like maybe some kind of PTSD experience. It could be, you know, you're being invited to pay attention to what comes up and find a way to expel this from the body. With Mars being here, go for a run. If you're not that fit, hop on the bike. If you can't do that, do some kind of physical exercise, you know, within reason of what your abilities are. You're not suddenly, oh well, Mars is in the 6th house, I can do backflips now. Well, if you've never done one before, you probably can't. So maybe let's, you know, in the realm of sensibility, but you get my point. Now, when it comes to money, finances and resources, this could be something that comes to light when it shows you what needs to be released on a financial level in order to experience your life experience, right? Because Mars rules that 8th house for you, and this is happening in the 6th house, a lot of you might be starting to think to yourself, how do I emancipate myself from the system to start being more financially free? How is it that I extricate my finances from, you know, somebody else's in a sense? For this, you've got the 5 of Swords. So look, this is a challenging connection. There's no getting around it. The 5 of Swords can be arguments, so watch out for that. With the King of Swords, this is a clash of ideas, but it's also a clash between you and potentially an authority figure. So watch out for that. And look, because it's the King of Swords, this will be about some kind of rule, regulation, something that you see that you're really unhappy about because you see that it's stacked in the wrong way, right? And so it's like maybe you pull out all of the legislative knowledge that you have in some regard. Now, you've got the Strength card as well. Strength card is your physical body. This with the King of Swords, this could be, if there's knowledge or information that you want to get about your body or your health, this is the time to go after it, because Mars is giving you the proactive energy, and the 6th house stuff and where it's happening means that it will be precise information that you get, and you'll be able to action it almost immediately. On the 22nd of the month, Mars is going to come into a conjunction with Venus, his celestial lover in the skies. This is going to happen at 7 degrees. Now, because Pluto is such a power player, 7 degrees away from this transit could still be considered a conjunction. Now, there's a debate amongst the astrological community. Some people say that's still too far. Some people will keep the 3-degree orb. Some will say, look, it's Pluto up to 10 degrees, right? Now, one of my favourite astrology teachers always says that means that you're likely to have a Pluto transit for an excess of like 2+ years. No thanks. And he does always crack me up, and he has a Virgo moon, so I hope he's okay with me sharing that anyway. So Venus in your 2nd house Venus for you rules your 2nd house of your money, your finances and your resources, and it also rules your 9th house of foreign travel, different cultures, your personal belief system. In a conjunction with Mars, who rules for you your 3rd house and your 8th house, I wonder if this is like it's got a financial essence to it, and I wonder if an opportunity to fulfill something through your work enables you to pursue something that could either be very healing for you at a very deep level, or be very synchronous or lucky, right? There might be an element here that is, because it's the 9th house that's indicated. The 9th house is a very lucky space. It's a very lucky energy. A conversation that has a financial slant to it could have some really great results, and it's like, because it's still conjunct to Pluto, there's an element of an opportunity that has been obscured in some way that now comes to light, and it helps you figure it out. And you might realize that your skills and your talents, maybe even the knowledge or the wisdom that you have, is actually a lot more valuable than you ever realized. For this, you've got the 7 of Pentacles. So think about what you're investing your time, your money and your efforts into with the 9 of Cups. I love this, right? I love this because that's like a healing energy. And then you've got the 4 of Cups here as well. If, my dear Virgos, and I say this out of all love, if you can get out of your way and stay out of your head and stop trying to convince yourself that it has to be perfect first, you could put something out into the world that actually provides a lot of healing, a lot of care, a lot of community actually to a lot of people, but it's going to rely on you being honest about the level of healing that you still have to do, and maybe coming at it from a point of, well, you know, I'm still learning this stuff myself, but if you want to come on this journey with me and we do it together, that could be absolutely wonderful. And I am so fucking here for this one, because already I've got like 3 people that I'm like, I need to email them. Like I know how this is going to show up for me, because I'm just going to email these people. They might say no, maybe it's not for them, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right, so and then finally, the 4th and final transit that I want to look at for you is on the 28th of the month. Saturn in the sign of Pisces is going to conjunct Mercury, your ruler, again, and the sun, right? All of this happens at 10 degrees. So if you ever want to know where the degrees and stuff are, and this is happening, if I ever forget to mention them, I always put them in the description box below. Now, this for you is happening in the sign of Pisces. It's happening for everybody in the sign of Pisces, but Pisces for you occupies your 7th house. Other people, right? Partnerships, relationships, contracts of a personal, professional, platonic, or even familial sort of level. In your relationship house, partnerships and connections of all kind are definitely coming together, right? Saturn for you rules, because Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. So for you, it rules the 5th house of pleasure, joy, romance, children, if you've got them. The 6th house of your physical health and vitality, your day-to-day routines, etc. Conjunct the sun. The sun for you rules your 11th house, your friends, your connections, your group associations. And as if that, it rules the 12th house even. So your 12th house is your past, your privacy. It's the hidden aspect of who you are. It's the space of your sleep, your boudoir, darling, is the 12th house. Bed pleasures, but it also rules your self-sabotaging tendencies. The 12th house I see as, it's an intangible house, but it rules like if the 8th house is your psyche in terms of your psychology, the 12th house is the silt and the stuff that sits at a very sort of deep level of that psyche. It's what I like to call the dark spiky ball that lives at the base of your consciousness, that only ever comes out in certain times of either heightened distress, and it'll show up in 2 ways, right? And this is for everybody, which, you know, whatever sign occupies your 12th house, that dark spiky ball that I talk about, it will show up in 2 ways. It'll either activate your warrior mode, where you say, fuck this, I'm backed into a corner, you want to see what that looks like, let's go, right? Or it'll implode and it will express itself as the worst of who you are, and it will have you, it will have you ripping yourself to shreds, effectively. You know, when you tell yourself, I'm not enough, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm I'm useless, blah, 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 blah. All the crap that all the really, quite frankly, shitty people in your life have told you, right? Whatever that voice says to you in those times where you're not being kind to yourself, that's how that stuff shows up, right? Sorry, Sojourn. Still talking about the 7th house. And then you've got Mercury in that space as well, Mercury ruling you and also your career, all in the 7th house. This is a new contract, a new connection. It also comes back around, like this time it's like an old opportunity through the career or from the past, 12th house, old opportunity through the career, 10th house, right? All of this stuff going on in the 7th. There's a new contract or a new start to a connection of some sort. It's going to be really hard work. Saturn is involved here, right? And Saturn ruling your 6th house of hard work. There's no getting around it, but I tell you, it could be so worth it. It might also be what gets you in line for enhancing your health and your routines, and to ensure that whatever shows up for you at the moment is supportive in some way. For this, you've got the Temperance card. You could be speaking to, because your 7th house is your relationship with your doctor, with your healthcare professional, with your astrologer or your tarot reader, especially if you do this stuff one-on-one. If you want to get your personal astro tarot scope, I know, perfect timing, so grim. You can do so on the link in the description box below. With this, you've got the 2 of Pentacles. This is you finally investing in your physical health and vitality, but it's also you investing in the long-term future of your healing of your life. Then you've got the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like whatever journey you embark on with this, whatever new contract, etc. is on the table, you will realize very quickly this is going to be around for a while, and it's going to take a lot of time, effort, and hard work. All right. Now, let's get into your lunations. What is going on with your moons? So on the 9th of February, we will have the annual... Let me move Pluto for a minute. Get over there, you. We will have the annual Aquarius new moon, right? And this happens at 20 degrees, I believe, of on February the 9th. It happens at 20 degrees in your 6th house. A fresh start with your work, a fresh start with your day-to-day habits, patterns, and routines. If you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, you know, I didn't do all of my New Year's resolutions, etc., this is a point where you get to start again or to try again, right? It's a second chance at the apple. Use it. 6th house, new moon as well, some kind of shift on the day-to-day level. Maybe some of you are getting a new pet as well. That's also possible. And then, and for this, you have 1, 2, and 3. So your new moon message is the Gate 37 and sweetness. I love this card. And because it means, even if it's not necessarily your family, it will be your chosen family. It will be the people that really do support you, that show up to assist you with all of these shifts and changes and these new energies that are coming in for you, right? So I love that. Now, on the 24th of February, we have the annual Virgo full moon. If there is something that you want to launch, specifically for those of you that are Virgo ascendant or Virgo rising as it's also known, if you're a Virgo rising, this is one of the points, apart from when the sun moves through your sign or Mercury comes through your sign, it's one of the points where you are at your most visible this year. If there's something you want to share with the world, if there's something that you want to put out into the world, this is a phenomenal moment to do it. All right. This is because you are being lit up. You are being highlighted in some way. This could be about your body, your mind, your outlook. But for a lot of you, I wonder if this will be something around your image. For this, you've got the Gate 13 and listen. This time of this full moon, while you are lit up and the whole world has got their eyes on you, take a moment to really ask yourself, what do I want? And more importantly, what do I need? What do I really need right now in terms of support, in terms of love, in terms of care, in terms of my friendships, in terms of my, my psyche? What do you really need at that deepest level of yourself? This is the time to listen to that, to really pay attention to the answers that come from within. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Also, I totally forgot to mention, if you would like to get your space, if you're watching this as I put it out, there are still around 10 days for you to get your space. There are only 20 on my tarot course. If you want to read the cards like me and find out how I do it, this is your chance. Enrollment will close on the 31st of January. And as I say, there's only 20 spots. So if you want to get that, link in the description box below. With that said, take care and I'll see you soon.